you remember the Parry Light&Easy that we looked at a short time ago? Well, it's been done, cleaned, refurbished, stripped apart, made to look like new. And I do think personally, from my very in-depth experience with all of them that we have done, this is probably the best condition one. Let's have a look at what I think is possibly as close to a as new one of these that actually works well. You're never going to see how well it works. Yes, good evening, my vacuum cleaner chums. How are you today? This must be number 7, maybe even 8, or possibly 6, that we have done of these Hotpoint designed machines. They're a machine that until I had the first one I hadn't really ever seen, and you know, here we are. We've had a lot of them. They obviously were quite popular. They were just garbage, so they haven't lasted. That is effectively what happened. This one has just got very, very lucky indeed. So let us begin. We have the flex. I tried to straighten it out as long as possible. I hung it from my banister and then tied a shoe onto the end, so it was a bit tight. Left that for a week. That got a lot of the kinks out, because problem with these is that this is the cord storage. Oh, we have the broken part that I had to replace. We'll pop that there. Yeah, this is your cord storage. You just ran the cable up, and of course you would do it really, really well, wouldn't you? And you shove it into there, which, you know, you don't really want to do. As you can hear, the plug smashes against the handle, and the plug is this very nice MK, which was on the machine when we got it. So the plug is good, the cable is okay, it is the original cable, it has the original crimped end. It's alright. Use will fix it right up. We have the handle, the switch came up very well indeed, nice clicky action on there. All of the cable grommet stuff washed up well, as did the bag holder. The bag, can't take it off because it's screwed on, washed up really, really nicely. I didn't strip it apart, I didn't try and undo the crimps that hold all the ends on. I just gave it a good wash and a good dry, and the zip works. We have a very nice, it's actually a Victor V9 bag with the top cut off, because I was running low on SIBO bags and didn't fancy writing one off just for this. So that bag actually works quite well, because it fills out and might actually inflate the bag a bit more than the SIBO bag, which just fills down, and you know, until you physically fill them up with dirt, you can't do anything with them. I've also tracked the cable. There we go. Right, marvellous. Up top is looking alright. Let's have a look at the business end of the machine, where we can see the second thing that I replaced, although not out of pure necessity, just because I could. We're going to pop the base plate up, and I'm going to use a screwdriver because it's quite sharp and I do not want to hurt my fingers. And maybe look at the modification that I did to this base plate, because you see this foam around here mimics the original, which I did manage to peel off. This is how much of a good condition this machine is, because this was here. I mean, it was still no good. It was still missing all of the front. When I say peel off, it fell off. But none of the other ones that we had anything of this original foam pad left. They were all long gone, so to have this one is amazing. But you know, we can't put it back on. It's where it isn't sticky, it's all falling to bits, and it's just generally no good. So I've just bodged some nice replacement with some adhesive, and you can see how much it does actually push down. So yeah, probably gonna be worth a go, isn't it? Underneath everything else, well, it's pretty nice. We have ourselves a brand new brush roll. We have some in stock. I fitted one, and a Hoover Junior belt, which probably does want to be run a bit and, you know, stretched out slightly. If I remove these screws, we can have a look underneath. Sadly, the foam on there was long gone, so we haven't got that, and I haven't really bothered to put anything else around it either. It sort of clamps down on here and probably just smooths out the vibrations, but spoiler alert, there's no point. The machine vibrates enough anyway. Here is our motor. Nothing is cracked on the machine. Remember the brown one where we had to pretty much rebuild those? And the last one that we did where it was all snapped, they all snapped there. This one is spotless. The wheels are clean, the motor cleaned up, an absolute treat. There we go, look, we can spin it by hand and see everything turning. It is literally spotless. The only thing I had to replace was the foot pedal. Thankfully, with one that we had in stock from the spares machines from the past. But yeah, they seem to all snap. Focus. They seem to all snap there. Every one that I've had has had a drop of glue where it hasn't snapped because it's been cracked. Or they have been snapped, and now I have those spares, so we need to not have one again that has a broken rear height adjustment. I mean, it's completely pointless. You can see what it's doing from here. It's supposed to sort of soft lock itself in and kind of works, but all you're doing is just nudging that backwards and forwards. And as soon as you put your real weight on the wheels, it sort of goes back down anyway. It's a little bit iffy. You don't want to have this machine on a very deep pile carpet. But we don't have a deep pile carpet, we have this horrible rug. So let's just clean this rug with our cheapy 1960s, 1970s hot point vacuum cleaner and see how well it does. We can plug the machine in using its MK plug into our MK socket and work out that the switch is indeed turned on and do some vacuuming. As you can see, it works fantastically. Yes, the brand new stiff-ish brush roll does help a lot, but the motor is just physically perfect. It is brilliant compared to the worst brown one that I remember doing, which was literally seized together. It was awful. This is pretty much brand new, as you can tell. That's all the dirt I'm going to pick up. Unfortunately, this is not a machine that Mr. Teo would enjoy too much because it would make that Goblin Rio, well, I don't know, actually probably pick up the dirt better, but it would then be destroyed after 5 minutes. But what we can do with that one is get our really old one out, get our really broken one out. As you can see, it's got the repair to there and then all of the glue underneath, the crack on the top, all of the work that we had to do underneath. Oh, look, the belt's there as well. It perished, but I don't think we put a new... Ooh. Did we put a new belt on that? I can't remember. I feel like we might have put a used belt on there just to not put too much strain on the very fragile plastics of this early model. I don't think this is a late model. I don't quite know where the Parry comes in versus the hot point. So if you do know, comment down below. But, you know, it's nice enough. It's certainly a vintage charm of its own, with its lovely WG plug. If I just come and, oh, sorry clock, unplug my clock, plug that in to our MK plug. I mean, that had a full rebuild. It's just the wear, sadly. We then compare it to this one. This one's a sewing machine in comparison. We can't really do a vacuum test because this one doesn't have a base plate, as you may remember. This is the machine that we borrowed its base plate from. Whoopsie daisy. And of course, where this bag is sadly one made out of complete spares, all of the clamps are on the outside on this one, and the top is held together with clothes pegs. But hey, the owner can have those at no extra charge, because what else are you going to do? You show me where else you're going to find this exact colour and this exact style of Hot Point dust bag, and then we'll buy it. I know the owner will. But that's not going to happen. But what has happened is that these machines are done. Is this going to be the last of these Hot Points? I don't know. And you know what, they're getting quite easy now. This one, you know, made sense. This one wasn't too difficult, just because I've now done so many of them that I have the process. And that's always a nice thing to do. And when people ask me how I get so good at vacuum cleaners, sadly that is the answer. You just got to do lots of them. The first one took me a week to get apart. Now it's almost a day to get it apart and back together. And that makes all of the difference. So there we go. What do you think of the old Hot Point or the old Parry? Do you like them or do you not like them? Or have you never tried one? And if you have tried one, what do you think? I actually quite like them now. With this one as the benchmark of a good one, I think they're pretty nice. On the right carpet. You wouldn't want it on a deep pile, acres of carpeting, but you know, versus a Hoover Junior, I think, I don't know, I think a Junior probably would clean better. This isn't very beaty, and obviously the Hoover lasted fantastically more than these, which is obviously why these are quite rare, and a Hoover Junior is quite popular, but they are effectively the same machine. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed, and I, and possibly some more Hot Points, we'll see you soon. Bye bye.